All right, hello everybody. Welcome back to the stream. So, let's see. What do we got going on here? So, yeah, today, first of all, we're getting very close to the Gunforged release, right? That's happening on Monday, right? Is that right? Monday? Oh my gosh. I should know my own release schedule, I think, but yes, Monday. Okay. Monday the 17th. So, again, if you're interested in purchasing Gunforged, please do that on Monday. You can wishlist it now so you're notified when that goes live. Otherwise, you can check out the links in the description below to check out my Udemy courses where I teach you how to build a complete game in the Godot engine. And what else? Yeah, everything you need to know to support my work is down below. I very much appreciate that. And of course, like the video, subscribe to the channel, watch my other videos, all that good stuff. So yeah, today we're going to be just doing some random fixes here and tweaks, and yeah, probably doing a little bit of play testing. Maybe we'll do a new gun. I don't know. Yeah, we'll kind of figure it out as we go. But yeah, we're kind of in the phase of the game where I'm just tightening everything up, polishing things, adding some new content where appropriate. So yeah, there's going to be kind of like a variety stream in that sense today. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. I don't need to have this one here. Hello, Luca. 5 days, yes. Hello, Apple. Welcome back. Great to see you. Hello, game dev Danny. Welcome, welcome. Hello, Perseverance. All right, so let me show you guys something really cool before I get started. Check this out. So this is the Steam popular upcoming, and if you just do a short little scroll down here, boom, there's Gunforged. So what is that? 20 or 30-ish slots down. So it's not like, super near the top here, but I think this list probably weights things chronologically as well. So as we get closer to the release date, that should move up. But the fact that it's on here at all is pretty cool. So yeah, Gunforged is right there. And a couple of medium-sized YouTubers, I would say, have played the game across all the videos. I think tens of thousands of people have seen the gameplay of the final game, so that's all going well. The wishlist count has been growing steadily, so that's good. And yeah, it looks like that snowball effect that I was hoping for is indeed happening to some extent. So again, the snowball effect being once these creators start covering the game, it increases the number of wish lists that the game gets and the store page visits that the game gets. And then as the wish lists increase, Steam surfaces it more as a popular upcoming game, which collects more wish lists. And then of course, then I can release it while the iron's hot on Monday, and hopefully that trend just continues for the launch week. So we'll see though. We'll be higher when the dates pass. Yeah, thank you, Chad. Welcome back to the stream, by the way. So yeah, there's one thing that I want to check here first, and I said in the title that I'm done with controller support, but I just want to make sure I have controller rebinding in place. Is rebinding controller. And I just want to make sure that I'm filtering only joypad buttons. Yeah, I am. Okay. I was thinking this morning, I was like, wait, can I assign a keyboard button to a controller binding? But I can't because I'm handling that in here. So anyway, we're done with controller support. So one thing that I got to comment on, I was reading the comments of some of the people that watch the videos of these Let's Players that I was talking about, and somebody left a comment that said the fire effect on the ingot on the passive selection looks really cheap, and I can't say that I disagree. So I'm going to try to improve that. And for context, this passive ingot, passive reward selection screen. So here, if it would start, come on. Yep, come on, thank you. So in here, this fire effect, which, yeah, it looks kind of awkward. It's an older effect. I think I can make some tweaks to it pretty easily here. I don't think I'm actually going to have to do that much to it, but I'm going to see. I'm going to see what I can get done here. We're just about to ask about how to see Gunforges in the Steam. Cool, yes. Thank you, Neozoid. Yeah, it's going well. I'm very optimistic. So my sort of like ambitious goal is to sell 10,000 copies of Gunforged. I think that's doable. It's not doable based on the current wishlist count, but I think that, you know, if it picks up enough steam by launch day, I think I could hit that number within a couple months, assuming it continues to do well. But I think I'm on track to hopefully sell a good amount, and then I can move on to the next game, which I'm excited about. But we're not done with Gunforge yet. We still got 5 days to go. So let's go ahead and do some of this work here. So these fire particles here. So these are the things that look kind of cheap. And I'm just going to see what I can do about this. So I'm going to experiment a little bit. I wonder if part of the cheapness is that you can kind of see the particles appearing back there. So I wonder if I moved this up a little bit and then narrowed the sort of range. This is an emission box. So yeah, let's not do such a big box. And let's turn this down as well. Let me see how that looks. Hello, Polaris. Welcome back. And then these other secondary particles here as well, which I may actually increase the amount of. I think that looks better already. Now, part of the issue too is that those are fading out to a color that you can't really see. At least you can't see it on Hub Arena. Ooh, let me do this real quick. I'm getting kind of distracted here, but that's fine. Okay. Let me go into the game here, and I'm just going to see what it looks like in game. I might need to change that color that the particle fades out to. Oh, not the Hub Arena. Dungeon Arena. We want to turn on debug mode here and then go to dungeon level. And we can run this. Regarding the animation, those label in the reroll, I think it would be much better to change the animation to something else. Regarding the animation on those label in the reroll. Oh, are you talking about these? Or this reroll up here? Yeah, so those particles are too dark. So one thing that I can do to fix this, I think, is go into this fire particles here. And I had it fading out. Oh, is this actually using a... Let's make this unique. Make unique recursive just in case. Okay. I'm going to go in here and delete that color and spread these out a little bit better. Okay. Maybe smoky effect instead. Are you talking so you don't like the color of the fire, is that it? I'm not exactly following what you're referring to. But I think this is looking better already. Yeah, I think that certainly looks less cheap, and also those particles aren't looking like they're disappearing because they're fading to a color that's almost indistinguishable from the background. So now they're just fading out to that darker orange, and I think that looks much more natural. I had to watch the oh, sorry. Sorry about that. I gotta make that bread, you know? Oops. Okay, so I mean, I personally think that that's looking good, but I'm happy to hear any further suggestions. Happy to hear any further suggestions, but I'm gonna probably commit that actually. Oh, what happened? Oh, there's just a bunch of white space changes. Okay. So yeah, I think that looks better. So improve effect of passive selection. Actually, let me just make sure that I turned everything back off. Yeah, okay. Cool. All right. I'm happy with that. Commit. But yeah, if you have any further suggestions, I'm happy to consider them. Okay, why is this showing up? Go away. I meant to, oh, the label wave motions, I got you. Yeah, I'm probably not gonna change that. Maybe if I get more comments to that effect, maybe I could make it a setting to disable that animation, like a low animation mode or something. So that could be something that I add in the future. Encounters can spawn in walls on cave level if being adjusted for player position. Yeah, so this one is a bug that I need to handle. So if I go to my cave arena, boom. Okay, so I've got those debug modes on. What else? I guess I'll just go to the cave level. Oh, the other thing that I need to do is random encounter handler. I'm just gonna bump up the prize wheel. Do I want to bump up the prize wheel? Let's just bump up the heart sacrifice. So this bug is kind of interesting. So basically what I'm doing when I spawn all the things in the level, at the end of the wave, they actually do a check to make sure that they're not being placed on top of the player to prevent collision issues. But if I'm standing here, that can cause, on the cave level, these things to spawn inside of the wall here. So I need to fix that. And honestly, I think the only way I'm going to fix it is, I mean, this sounds pretty ridiculous, but I think the way that I'm going to fix this is I'm going to just move this down instead of up. Maybe only for the cave level, because I have a generalized solution for this. I think it moves it like 64 pixels in the direction it is. So there's 4 directions here, right, down, left, up. And if I'm standing, like, let's say where this table is supposed to be placed, I just move it 64 pixels that way. And same for all these other things as well. So that works in every level except for this one, because there's this little dip right here. And so I might as well just move it down instead. Let me see if I can break anything else on this level. I don't think I can, but like if I stand on top of where this training dummy is supposed to be, we'll see what happens. Come on. Thank you. Yeah, so did the training dummy get moved down? Am I not checking that one? I might not be checking that one. Let me try it again. That should have been moved, but I guess it didn't get moved. How am I hitting him from there? Okay, yeah, so that doesn't get moved. I think that maybe this one will get moved though. Yeah, so you see how the lever got moved over to the left here. So it's really only a problem for this upward direction. So let's figure out how I'm gonna fix that. And I don't even know. This code is like ancient code too. Yeah, so here, create encounter, beam. Okay, so the beam here. Oh, it's moving at 150 pixels? Center position plus direction. Why isn't this working for the training dummy then? Oh. I'm like overriding the position. Why am I doing that? Let's get rid of that. That would be why that's not working. Okay. I was wondering why that training dummy was not getting moved. It's because there was a line of code that was wrong. So, okay, so that makes things a little bit more sensible. So I could just check the current level and move it down instead. That would be like the very rough way of doing it. Do I want to do that though? Do I want to be that sloppy? So it's only on the third node here. Okay, I think what I will do is I'll do that. So var adjusted direction is equal to direction. If, do I have a current level? This dot get base level dot current level level is equal to level dot cave. Then the adjusted direction is going to equal negative direction. Oh, and I want to do if I is equal to 3. So if it's only spawning the random encounter, and this is the case where I'm going to violate my no comments rule because this is a very specific piece of code that's not, it's very sloppily implemented. So adjust position downward for events on cave level to avoid terrain clipping. Okay. Alrighty, so let's see if that worked. Hello, Hungry Garrett. What happens if you're standing against the left or right wall when a wave ends? Does the table or lever move to stay in bounds? They always spawn around the center of the level. So if I'm standing over here, that's not going to affect their position. Their positions only get modified when you're standing where it's trying to spawn something. And I forgot to test that, so I'll do that next. So if I stand here, I should see that it gets spawned like right there. Oh, it didn't work. Very curious. Very curious indeed. Oh, I forgot to pass in the adjusted direction here. Oops. Oops. Try it again. Hello, Anykey. Good morning to you as well. Hope today is happy and productive for you. Thank you. And likewise to you. Yeah, I think everything's going well with Gunforge, so I'm very eager to get it out. Okay, that spawned like right on top of me for some reason. Oh goodness, that's wrong. Okay, so I did this wrong again. Okay. Okay. Oh, I see. It's a 50 pixel difference. Got it. So I'm doing this direction. Okay, okay. Man. So this then... Okay, so this actually... I'm going to take the adjusted distance as 150. Right. Okay. I will get this eventually. This code is just written a little bit weird. Who wrote this? So I just need to adjust the distance. So this adjusted distance now, instead of being 150, will just be 50. Okay, all right. There we go. So it's a little bit cramped now, but it's better than being inside of the wall. And of course, if I do the next level and I stay away, also this should work here. Yep, so that goes to its normal position here. Cool. All right. I think that works well. And I guess just for the sake of completely testing this, I'm just going to make sure that that behavior doesn't happen on the dungeon level, meaning that if it adjusts the position, it goes up instead of down. I guess it doesn't really matter, but the reason I don't want everything to be moved inward is because then the interaction areas could overlap, and this game does not support handling multiple different interaction areas, and so the fix for that is just to not not overlap the interaction areas. There we go. What I mean by interaction area is the area 2D that detects when you're close enough to interact with something. If these two things were right on top of each other and I pressed E, it would basically be completely unpredictable which one would come up. And of course there are fixes for that. Like you could just take, you know, whichever one you're closest to, but rather than implement all that, I just decided let's not have them overlap ever. Problem solved, right? Okay. I definitely don't want to commit that. Okay. Fix terrain clipping for encounters in cave level. All right, so that's another bug down, or first bug down, I guess. Select ingot effect on gun scrambler not using proper position when using controller. I see. So this one is related to the dual part selection UI. There's a select ingot effect here. It's supposed to play these spark particles here. That. Oh, interesting. Why are those not... So it grabs... So when you're using a controller... So these spark effects happen at the mouse position, but when you're using a controller, the mouse position is not like a valid thing. So what I'm doing instead is I'm grabbing the focus owner and then setting the target position to that rectangle position. Well, to the middle of that focused rectangle, basically. So, why is this not working? I'm gonna have to plug in my controller here. Thankfully, it just works. It's just plug and play. My many hours of hard work on the controller support. So I just plug it in. As soon as it gets detected, boom, it focuses. And then if I see how it played the spark effect way up in the top corner, which is weird because that's not right. Now it's possible that the focused control, oh, you know what's probably happening is the control's probably losing focus before play is called here. Yep. So this set disabled here is setting the button to disabled, but then it's also releasing the focus if it gets disabled. So that means that there was no focus. So I need to call the play effect first and then disable the buttons, and that should fix it. See, game development is easy, man. This is not hard at all. Okay, there we go. Much better. Okay, that concludes our controller testing. So let's go ahead and add that. Fix, what you call it? What is it called? Select ingot particles in Scrambler UI. Cool. All right, moving along. So I was playtesting last night, and this passive Friend of Hades was really hard to trigger, actually, especially on the cave level where the enemies just naturally have higher health. So I need to find a different way of triggering that passive. I'm super excited for controller support. What have you learned since implementing controller support? Anything you'd like to have, you would have tackled earlier in development? Let me think. I mean, I'm kind of glad that I didn't do controller support earlier in development because a lot of my UIs changed. And the thing is, like, I've been thinking about it. I've been thinking about ways like, could I make controller support much more easy to implement? And I think the answer is no. I think honestly, like, I mean, yes, if you built everything with focus states in mind from the ground up, then it would definitely make controller support easier, because the most difficult part was just managing the focus states. So, you know, one of the trickiest things is like for the drag and drop rune and gun part system, it's like, okay, well, once you start dragging a gun part with the controller, it needs to autofocus a valid place where that gun part can be dropped. And it's the same kind of deal with the runes. And so, you know, I had to move away from a lot of mouse enter, mouse exit notifications and change those to use focus entered and focus exited, and that had to be changed throughout the UI. So I guess the main thing would be to work mainly with focus states rather than mouse hover states from the get-go. But there's still a lot of like particulars that you have to deal with controller support. I don't know if there's going to be a way to build it from the ground up where it just kind of like just works. You just basically have to like write a version, write functionality to handle the keyboard, write functionality to handle the controller. Those behave very differently sometimes. Like in the case of aiming, for instance, it's like with a mouse, it's like you can put your mouse anywhere on the screen and that's where you aim. But with a controller, it's a radial, right? So you need to have, the best way to handle that, I think, is to have an abstraction layer that can handle what your aim direction is and what your aim position is, and then for everything else in the game to read that, and then you can just change the aim direction and aim position at that layer and have it reflected throughout the whole game. So, you know, thinking about abstracting things, abstracting your controls such that you can just like handle all the inputs in one place and have that sort of just be referenced by the rest of the game, that's a good idea. And then also designing the UI with focus states in mind from the beginning. Those are probably the two biggest things that I would do differently if I knew I was going to add controller support to a game, which I'm probably going to have to add controller support to my next game, so I'll definitely be keeping that in mind. But yeah. Hello, Christopher. I wanted a better multiplayer input manager, so I started at input system for a while and started porting the concepts off to GDScript. So now I'm learning GDScript, which is interesting. Oh, very nice. Yeah, was there a particular reason you needed GDScript, or you just wanted to learn it? You're welcome. You're welcome, Hungry Garrett. So I need to figure out a good way of triggering this Hades thing. What did I just do? Anyway, I need a good way of triggering this Hades thing here. So right now, the way that it gets triggered is dealing bullet damage equal to at least 50% of an enemy's max health in a single hit summons a shade. That's an interesting thing. The problem is it's very hard to hit that number. So I need to think of a different way of triggering that. I'm not exactly sure if it's a good idea to do 50% of the max health for the reason I mentioned before, which is that it's harder to trigger when the enemy just naturally has more health, like as in the cave level. And I was trying real hard when I was playtesting last night. I stacked a bunch of bullet damage runes to beef the bullet damage. I was using a high DPS weapon. I was trying and I couldn't get it to trigger. So that's a big problem. I'm thinking of a different way, like the other problem is I can't just tally up total damage, right? So I can't just say every 1,000 damage you deal, because the damage is changing throughout the waves too. So if you get the shade on wave 1 or after wave 1, you know, it's going to take you longer to rack up 1,000 damage than it would if you're at the later level. Now I could make that scale as well, but I don't really like the idea of passive scaling as the waves go on either. So I need to find a better way of triggering this. And I also don't want to do something that I've already done a bunch of times in the game, which is like, oh, after applying X amount of stacks, you know? So yeah, I could just reduce the bullet damage. And I have this stacking, so what I could do is I could just reduce this to 25% off the bat and just remove the ability for it to stack. Because when you get a second stack of this, it reduces the threshold by 25%. But I'm trying to think if there's a more creative way to trigger this. Wonder if I could do something like, if I did something like killing 5 enemies within 1 second of each other. You know what I mean? How would I calculate that though? That's a good question. Would I just have like a recycling window? So a timer that runs 1 second, then it just tallies up how many enemies die in that 1 second and then reset the timer. I mean, it's not the same as like a rolling, right? Because let's say I'm at 0.9 seconds through the timer, I kill 1 enemy, and then within the next 1 second I kill 4 more. That should trigger it. But if the timer is just doing 1 second resetting, 1 second resetting, then because the first enemy that was killed at the end of the first window and the remaining 4 were killed during the second window, it doesn't trigger, even though there's a timeline in there that encompasses 1 second wherein 5 enemies died, right? So like, I don't know how it actually track that. That seems like that would actually be very difficult to track. I basically need to keep a timeline of like all the enemies that have been killed recently and see if 5 of them were killed within the last second. So I'd have to start from the forward and look back into the history. Would that be possible? Oh, I guess the way I would do it is I would just... Well, one way to do it is to create an individual timer for every enemy that gets killed that lasts 1 second, and then decrement a counter. So you increment the counter when an enemy dies, start a timer for 1 second. When that timer decrements, then you, or finishes, then you decrement the number. And then once that number hits 5, you can spawn the shade. But I don't know if I want to spawn a bunch of timers. I could use scene tree timers, but is that a good idea? The other thing I could do is I could store like a timestamp when the enemy was killed and just like, you know, flush that flush any timestamps that exceed 1 second every process frame. A timer might be... Would a timer be better? I'm sure a timer would be fine. It would certainly be easier to implement. Yeah. So that's supported on more platforms just in case I ship it as an open source plugin or want to make a game for other export platforms. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I got you. Compatibility reasons. Good morning, Ariane. Welcome, welcome. Okay. All right. So here's what I'll do. Do I still want to make it stack? Killing 7 enemies within... There's two ways I could scale this. I could increase the total number of enemies that you need to kill, or I can increase the window. Killing 5 enemies within 0.5 seconds of each other. Summons a shade that applies max haunt stacks to nearby enemies. I wonder if I would even need a cooldown for this anymore. I don't like, I really like cooldowns. Some of the things that I have in the game do need cooldowns, but I would prefer not to use them if I don't have to. So I'm kind of wondering if I should remove the cooldown as well. Just let the player spawn a bunch of shades. That's a good question. I guess we're just gonna, we're just gonna have to play test it. So this then, here's what I'm gonna do. .5 plus, oh boy, 0 minus 1 times 0.5. I think that's right. Yeah. So this is just a mathematical expression in here. I don't know if you can see that very well, but so 0.5 base, this 0 is the number of stacks minus 1, so that means for the first stack this evaluates to 0 times 0.5, which is 0, but as soon as you hit 2 stacks then it adds 0.5 to this, so it becomes 1 second. And okay, I'm gonna have to make this a parentheses s here. Killing 5 enemies within 0.5 seconds of each other. So the first stack is going to be a tighter window and the second stack is going to be a larger window. Summons a shade that applies max haunt stacks to nearby enemies. I really don't think that I need a cooldown for this anymore. So I'm going to just remove the cooldown. And that's going to require me to update the shade passive. Okay, so I don't have cooldowns anymore, so we'll get rid of that. Target health percent, we don't need that anymore. Okay, yeah, so this is the part where I need to actually change the logic here. Okay, so timer time is 0.5, protected, override, void, stack added. Timer time is equal to 0.5 f plus additional occurrences times 0.5. So that will update the timer time there. This target health percent is not a thing anymore, so we don't need this. On entity post collision, so this can actually change. Entity died. On entity died. This is actually going to... This is going to work really well with some other passives that are in place too. So I'm liking this new direction for this passive much better. Entity died. Event. Okay, so I actually don't need... You know what? I might need to check the faction. Wait a minute. Yeah, so let's just do this. If health component, whoops, entity died event dot health component dot faction is not equal to faction dot enemy. I don't know. I think the Secret Service bodyguards might emit a died signal when they die, and so that's not good. I actually should probably check that. Yeah. So let's do entity died event. Entity died event. Health component. These ones are fine because they're checking for status effects. Okay. Same deal there. Okay, that all looks good. So we'll return if it's not an enemy. We'll get rid of all this target health percent stuff. Entity died event. Okay. Oh, what are the gun stats? This might be a problem. Actually, yeah, I don't want the gun stats in here. I think what I want to do is I want to do this dot get player dot gun manager get weakest gun stats, and we'll just put a new gun stats in there. So we'll use the weakest gun stats of the player, because when an entity dies, there's not necessarily a gun stat object directly associated with that death, so... Okay, so that should be fine, and then... Yeah, so that's all good. Okay, but I don't have the logic in place for actually spawning this, so... Private int entity died counter. So we're going to do entity died counter plus plus. Private const int target entity deaths 5. Did I say 5? I think so. I think so. If entity died counter is greater than or equal to target entity deaths, I'm going to set the entity died counter to 0, and we're going to spawn this. Else, we're going to create a timer and then decrement it on timer tracker timer timeout. Hello, Shrippy. How you doing? Welcome, welcome. Will controller support update be available in demo? Yeah, I need to do some more playtesting to make sure the controller is all good, but then I'll be updating the demo and the release build with that. So probably within the next day or two. So you can look forward to that. Saw your pre-shader comp video, you're whipping the game, shipping the game. Why did I say whipping? Shipping the game with pre-comp shaders. You can just do that with PC. So I think some games you can support like or you can ship the game with pre-compiled shaders. I don't think Godot supports that though. So I have to basically compile the shaders on the user's end. My understanding is that 4.4 makes this unnecessary, but I don't know. I feel like I've heard the sort of Uber shader thing several times and I've always had shader problems. So maybe I just wasn't using the correct version of Godot, but I'm probably going to leave that shader precompilation in because it only takes a couple of seconds and it pretty much guarantees a smooth gameplay experience. So, but yeah, I can't ship the precompiled shaders with the game. That's not supported by Godot. Hello, Turn RP, welcome back. Good to see you. Okay, so if entity died counter, so we're going to do get tree dot create timer, and we're going to do timer time. Process always is equal to false because we want it to pause when the tree pauses. Dot connect. Scene tree timer dot signal name dot timeout. Callable dot from on tracker timer timeout, and I'm going to actually store this. Private callable timeout callable. I'm not sure what the overhead is on this, but there's no sense in recreating that callable every time, so we're going to say timeout callable is equal to that. And then I can just pass in the timeout callable here. And then on tracker timeout, what I'm going to do is mathf dot clamp or mathf dot max, I guess. So entity died counter is equal to mathf dot max, entity died counter minus 1, 0. So the reason I need to do that is because I'm resetting the counter to 0, but this counter may get reset to 0 while there are still timers running. And so I don't want those timers to decrement. Actually, that's not going to work either. I might have to just kill all the timers. Oh, goodness. Wait a minute. Yeah, that's not going to work. I can't do that. Because if I've got a timer with 0.1 second left on it, and I kill another enemy, it's just going to get immediately decremented. Shoot. Okay. I don't know what to do here. I might use a hash set, but I might have to use a hash set just to keep track of this. Okay, let's not do an entity died counter then. Let's do hash set node 2D entity death set entity death set dot add entity died event dot entity if entity death set dot count is greater than or equal to target entity deaths. What I can do in here now is I can do entity death set dot clear, and this timeout callable is unfortunately not going to work anymore because I need to do now callable dot from. I hope this doesn't break anything. I don't think it will. On tracker timeout, and then I can pass entity died event dot entity into there. I'm actually wondering if this is even going to work. I think it should. So now in here, what I can do, entity death set dot remove. And I think I can call this even if the item's not in the set. Okay. All right. So we're going to have to try this, but let me do this. gd.print entity death set.count. I'm just going to bump up this number quite a bit. Just to test it. Okay, so let's go ahead and I'm going to close all these. Shade passive, blood column passive. We'll get rid of these. All right, let's go ahead and test it. I just finished my just finished fishing in my game. Was definitely worth it. I just got to make it more engaging and rebalance some stuff. Awesome. Fishing mechanic. I got to add a fishing mechanic to one of my games. I definitely got to do that. Let me turn off the tutorials here. I don't need no stinking tutorials. All right, let me watch the console. Oh, I forgot to add the shade passive. Add passive shade. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll just wait a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Oh, another friend of Hades. That's funny. I just got that on the first roll here. That's all right. All right, now let's see if I can do this. Oh, there we go. There's one. There's another one. Yeah, so now you can have an army of shades if you wanted to. Okay, obviously this window is very large, but... Okay. So that appears to be working. So now I can change this back to 0.5. And I also want to make sure that the text is correct. It's a small but big thing that people love. Yeah, people do love fishing. People do love it. I'm so hyped for this game. I need to play it soon. Awesome. Well, it's coming out on Monday, so almost there. Almost there. Killing 5 enemies within 0.5 seconds of each other summons a shade that applies max haunt stacks to nearby enemies. No cooldown. And then if I add my next passive, within 1 second of each other. Sweet. Okay. I'm going to have to play test that some more, but I'm pretty happy with how that's functioning. I may end up tweaking those numbers, those windows there, but yeah, I may end up tweaking those numbers there, but in terms of the window, but I think that this is just overall going to be better because now it's less about how much damage you're doing and it's more about can you, there's more gameplay opportunities too. Like you can soften a bunch of enemies up now and then kill them all really quickly rather than just like having to do a raw damage number. So this is much better, I think. Cool. Update how shade passive works. Bam. Okay. I just have a bunch of random things to do. Maybe we can do the axe throwing gun. That's been something that I wanted to do for a while now. So, I'll get these two things done and then do start on the axe throwing gun, which will be fun because it'll be a new gun for the game. But wow, already I'm gonna miss these lives. Well, the lives aren't going anywhere. I'll be using the lives to do other things. Prototyping. If I am working on post-launch Gunforged content and fixes, I'll stream that too. So I'm not going to stop the streams. They're still going to be here. But not necessarily all Gunforged focused. Anyway, I am going to take a quick 2-minute break. And when I come back, we're going to do the rest of these things on the to-do list here. But I want to remind everyone that if you want to support my work, Gunforged comes out on the 17th. The link for the Steam page is in the description below, so please wishlist that. And purchase it if you're so inclined when it releases on Monday. Also, I have my Udemy courses available for sale. That's a great way to support me as well. And it's also a great way to learn how to build a complete game in the Godot engine. So give me 2 minutes. I'll be right back and we'll continue on with Gunforged development. All right, welcome back to me. I am back. Lurking Neozoid. You are my best lurker. I actually don't, I mean, one of the things about lurkers is you don't know who's lurking, right? Unless they announce it, but then they're not a lurker anymore, so, you know. Isn't that weird how that works? All right, so, yeah, this is just super easy. I don't even know why I created a card for this. Oops. This entire card, what this means is I'm just gonna do this. If I just go to my assembled gun ingot. Where is this tooltip actually? Here, this rune, no, that's not right. This rune overview. Rune summary. Okay, that's it. That's the entirety of the card. I'm going to just make sure it looks okay in game though, but I'm sure it's fine. I don't know. I feel very awkward making a change and not like officially testing it in game. Even something as simple as that, which I'm like 99.9% sure is gonna work. Okay, change verbiage. I'm also gonna do the same thing for this. Because this says burning, which is not right. I gotta be really consistent with my language so I don't confuse people. So this says every, burning applied, every 30 stacks of burning applied. This should be fire applied. So that's done as well. All right, now we can move on to the gun that I want to make. Verbiage change. Now we can move on to the gun that I want to make. So what I want to do is I want to make a gun that throws axes and has the totem affix innate to it. So I have no clue what this gun is going to look like, so let's go ahead and just start doodling, I suppose. We'll just go ahead and start doodling here. So assets, gun. We're going to open up the gun template that I've got here. We'll save it. We'll create a new axe. Yeah, I really don't know what this is going to look like. So we're going to have to find out. All right. I was thinking something super ridiculous like man. I was gonna do like an arm. So I'm gonna start doodling. I'm gonna be on the wrong layer here, but that's fine. I was thinking like a big, like if I do this and I bring it down, and I've got an arm here, that's a little bit too thick. Still a little bit not right. Yeah, so I've got an arm here with like really big biceps, which I think would have to be something like that. I'm not very good at drawing human bodies, I suppose, so this is going to look really grotesque, I'm sure, but we'll make it work, right? Be too dark. Gotta be really careful with this shape here. I don't know how biceps work. Yeah, I mean, I have no clue how this is going to work. Okay. But, I mean, this is kind of like how I was thinking about it with the arm. I don't know, because then I got to think about how the magazine works. This is going to be a little bit tricky. Yeah, I don't know. Sorry, I'm like triple tasking. That's all right. I want to make I'm making an axe throwing gun. So my initial idea here is just to make it like an arm, like a bicep or something. But I don't know if this is not gonna work. I don't even know what I would do for the magazine. I tried the demo of your game and I think the tutorial could be improved. How would you improve the tutorial? I mean, I agree. I just don't know how exactly to do it. I don't think that this is gonna work. I could make it... I mean, I could just make it like a big axe instead. So big axe like this. It's kind of more like a halberd. I want to kind of make it look... Yeah, I don't know. Oops. Whoops. Well, this is not going well. I don't think that's going to work either, because I still don't know what the magazine would be. An axe is not really a kind of thing that looks good as a gun. I mean, I could do like a little axe down here, I suppose. Just like this. That looks too ridiculous, though. I mean, it's not really ridiculous in a good way. I'm fine with ridiculous. This just doesn't look right. Well, my two ideas have been stumped. The weapon making part is very confusing and not intuitive. The main good thing is the art game looks beautiful. Well, thank you. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how to make it more intuitive. I'll have to think about that. I'll have to think about it. Can make an axe that shoots axes or something. Like a mini Viking holding an axe. That could work, a mini Viking. Let me think. The problem is that this is going to spawn totems, so that's not really Viking theme. That's more like Mesoamerican theme, you know? I mean, it would kind of be fun. Let me actually do a Google search here. So I searched Mesoamerican axe. Okay. Am I not able to see like what a full one looks like? These are the axe heads. I mean, that gives me some ideas, so maybe I'm just goofing this up a little bit. Let's get rid of that. Maybe I'm just goofing this up a little bit. Let's change this color. I'm just going to bring this out quite a bit. Okay. Let's use a brighter color for now. So I've got something like this. Okay. Very nice. Oh, did I close the reference? Oh, I didn't. Okay. I would need this to be... Man, I am just not... Oops. Okay. Okay, kind of getting there, I suppose. I think that this will actually probably turn out decent. When I do all the shading and whatnot. So then this axe down here, yeah, just make it, yeah, so this might be a little bit better. So just kind of do the same thing over here. That might be too thick. Just like, super ridiculous. You just be holding this pole. Okay, I mean, I'm feeling better about this now. I think. I think what I would do probably is I would take this. So this would be the oh wait, this would be the barrel here. Oh, the whole barrel would be this thing. Oh my. So that's the barrel. Okay. I'm gonna cut that out. Barrel. So put that there. Actually, you know what I'll do? Just keep it a pixel away so I know where the barrel is. Let's rename this to receiver. Let's grab this. Magazine. Okay. So I'm just keeping everything separated so I know which is which. So the receiver, that's going to be the easiest part. What I kind of wanted to do, though, is to emphasize the fact that it's supposed to be like a Mesoamerican thing. I could do like colorful feathers here coming off of the axe, you know? Sort of like that. I know you can't really see it that well, but if I do like colorful feathers here and then up on the barrel as well. Just a couple of them. I don't want to overdo it. This will look better with an outline too. Oh shoot, did I just add a bunch of those on the barrel? I did. So this will look better. when I have an outline on it. I still got to get the shading done, but I think that this is starting to take shape. So that's good. So I'm just going to do a very basic shading here. See, that's already looking much nicer. This one is awkward. That probably looks better. Oops. Keep doing that. I gotta be on the right. And you know what I could do also is I could add like a bump or two. Maybe a chip there. Problem is I can't really do that without making it look weird. The other problem is I can't really tell what it looks like. Yeah, that looks fine. Okay. So the barrel here, same deal, although I'm going to do that. And then here, those need to be there. I wonder if I should do that. No, that's not going to look good. Okay, so that's already looking better. Line those up. I don't like this being here. What I'll do is I'll do that and that. So when they're, oops. So when they're lined up, you get kind of that curved motion there that I was looking for. Okay, cool. Maybe this needs to be there as well. Okay. All right. We are getting there. We are getting there. If you were holding a little dude, yeah. Why Mesoamerica? Because the innate rune that's going to go on this gun is the totem, and a totem is much more like a Native American thing as opposed to like a, you know, anything else. It's like a baton. Yeah, it's. I mean, it's getting there. Thank you for your IDR 10,000 snup bill. Very much appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. That's very generous. Gotta go. I'll talk to you later. But if you're gonna make any guns in the future, it'd be really silly with like a little dude. Yeah. No, I'll definitely keep that in mind for sure. But yeah, thank you, and hope you have a good day. Thank you, Luca. Appreciate that. So let's see. So how do I do this? So I'm just going to start doing some shading here. This shading might actually need to be darker. Actually, I'm not sure. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, and then I kind of want to do... just outline this. Okay, that's looking good. I wonder if I should use white here, if that's going to be too much. Again, I don't really know what this is going to look like outlined. Yeah, I don't know. Can't make it too noisy. Okay. I think that looks relatively decent. I'll kind of loosely try to copy it for this as well. Oops, I did it on the wrong thing again. Magazine, boom, boom. Yeah, I can't be as aggressive with the shading here. That's gonna have to work, and then I'll just do... There we go. Okay, so let's put all this back together. So there's the the axe gun. Oh goodness. I hope this is not too big. Oh, this might be too big. Is it too big? I don't think so. I think it's just the right size. I always forget that I can't make them a certain size. Okay, so if I just do flat and visible, so this is what it would look like outlined. It doesn't look bad. It didn't turn out that bad. Hello, Red Velvet. Welcome back. Great to see you. Okay, let's unflatten those. Cool. So let's do File, Scripts, Export Layers. So we got those layers. I'm going to need to go to my Generate Gun template. Run this. We're going to call this Axe Gun. Axe, create and quit. That should create all my resources, axe, barrel, and whatnot. But I want to go into my magazine receiver. Axe, barrel, axe, magazine. Okay, so we'll take this axe receiver here. Instantiate the barrel. Instantiate the magazine. All right, so let's get the barrel in place first. Okay, there's the barrel. Put the offset right there, I suppose. Got to take this front position now and move this up. I also got to make the axe bullets too. That'll be fine. Okay, so axe magazine. Okay. Don't need a front position or anything, so axe receiver. Sprite 2D receiver. Let's hide these for now so I can see what I'm doing. Take this front position now. Connect that there. Magazine. Okay. Okay, so there's the axe gun in place. Did I change? I need to change the hand left position and the hand right position. Cool. All right, let's actually just go ahead and run the game. Oops, I don't want to do that yet. I want to get rid of these now. I just put those, I just instantiated those for alignment purposes, but I don't want those to be in the scene. Gun, axe, left. Okay. It's quite amusing, actually. Does it fit? Oh, it does. Look at that. Whew! Axe barrel fits. Okay, so now we need to make it shoot its own bullets. And probably have an explosion of... I guess I'll make like a particle explosion of feathers. That'd be kind of cool. So let me change these resources here. Axe, barrel. Innate affix resources is totem. Axe magazine. Innate affix resource, oops. Quick load, totem. Just make sure that all works. Innate totem, cool. So now if I do gun, axe, left, I've got 3 totems. Nice. Okay, now the question is, am I going to be able to use the spiral bullet? Let's create the bullet first. I'm going to commit this. Initial axe work. Okay, let's go ahead and make the bullet. I'm probably just going to create a miniature version of this. So we'll just do this. How big do we want the bullets to be? Probably like that. Maybe a little bit longer. Do that and that. Okay. That'll work. May borrow a little bump here. Actually, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get away with that on such a small piece of art. Yeah, probably not going to get away with that. That's fine. Since this is just a bullet, it doesn't need to be as carefully made as the other stuff, but it still should look nice, obviously. I wonder if I should I copy a feather? Might be too much. Although it would be nice to kind of thematically tie those things together. Oops. So if I do that, and then maybe like a red one going this way. All right, we'll see how that works. So that's my axe bullet. I'm going to duplicate. Why am I doing that? Standard bullet. We'll open this up. Okay, let's see how badly this doesn't work. So let's change this sprite 2D. First of all, make this unique. Copy, paste. We're going to add bullet. Cool. And then this collision shape, we're going to make this slightly larger. I don't know why that's not using the same one. Paste. Thank you. Okay, so there's our axe bullet. Let's do a spiral travel definition. Distance between revolutions. Uh-huh. I actually don't remember how this works. Radius? I don't know. 32 and 32? I guess we'll see what happens. Does this work? Oh man, hold on a second. I guess we'll find out. I don't know. No need to asking questions about it when I can test it. I don't know if the shadow component works. I never checked that. Like with the enemy spiral bullet. I don't think I ever checked that, but let's see. Ooh, that's very fast. It's kind of cool though. What if I turn up the distance between revolutions? Quite a bit more. That's actually kind of fun. I don't need this to have this material. Oh, it was glowing. Why was it glowing? Okay. Anyway. What is different in a scene when you activate the debug mode? I'm not sure I understand your question exactly. Yeah, do you want to rephrase that? I would be happy to answer it. I just don't know. I don't know exactly what the question is. Why is this? This shouldn't have an unshaded material on it. Oh, this should be called Axe Bullet 2. I don't know why it's glowing. It might just be because of this. I might have to clear the material here. Oh, Damien, I don't know if you have a gun in your game that shoots insects or something like bees, but the way the axes shoot out would be great for that. Yeah, I do actually. I actually have the wasp gun right here. Check it out. There you go, bees. Okay, so this is going to be very hard to get right, I think, with the spiral travel definition. But I think that's still... I think that still works all right. And the shadow component appears to be working, so that's good. This now, aligned to additional velocity, I think is what I want. All is going well. Thank you for asking. I hope all is going well with you as well. You have a variable in certain scenes called debug that you check in the inspector. Oh, yeah. So... that's just a way for me to check. So like, for instance, in the wave manager here, when debug mode is enabled, basically what this does is First of all, it checks that we're on a debug build, because I don't want to be in a situation where if I leave the debug flag on, then accidentally publish the game. I don't want that to take effect in a release build. So I always do a check if we're in a debug build, and that just that means that you're running it in a debug release mode. And all this does is if debug mode is on, it just shortens the wave time and also makes enemies much easier to kill. I had to manually program those, but that's all that that flag does, really, is it just indicates that I want to skip a lot of the tedious stuff about testing. But yeah, that all has to be manually added, so. So this is not working. What if I just do align to additional velocity only? I want it to rotate, so I might have to do a rotation in here somewhere. Yeah, I'm gonna have to make it rotate differently. I think I can use a rotator component. Part of the problem is these are just traveling so fast. So let me do this. Damage contribution. Bullets per second contribution. Let's do 1. Capacity contribution 4. Range contribution. Bullet speed. Let's turn this down. 2, 1, 4, 50, 75. 5. 214. No, let's do 1.814. Here's what I'm gonna do. Okay. 1.8. 1, 4, 75, and 5. 1.8. So these are just all the contribution stats that go into the gun at a base level. These get randomized, but the base kind of controls how far in either direction the stats can be randomized. So, yeah, it's just number stuff. I'm gonna actually clamp this so that it's always either 720 or negative 720. Cool. That's pretty interesting. That's a little bit of an interesting bullet pattern. I kind of like that. Okay, so now we need to do the impact stuff. So let's duplicate this. Bone it up. Duplicate this. Call it axe impact. This should be relatively easy. Axe impact. We'll go to this animation player. Manage animations. Make unique, make unique, make unique. Then for this, just need to put that bullet in there. And I forgot to do one last thing. I gotta put this death scene in here. Okay. A lot of work to get all this hooked up. I mean, it's not that much work, but there's a lot of things to check. So now that the action should more appropriately die here. And they're glowing again, which means I have to take this material here and remove that. Okay. So now we need the muzzle flash. So I'm going to take the, let's see, what do I want to use? We'll take the cow muzzle flash as a base here. Actually, firstly, let me create some particles here. I mean, these are kind of nice here. Just copy those. I honestly don't know what size this needs to be, so I'm just going to do this to start. I'm creating the particles for... I think I could probably get away with 8 by 8. Yeah, I'm creating the particles for the axe gun muzzle flash, basically. This will work. And then let's add a red one in here. Dang it. That'll work. Okay, we'll save this in axe. Muzzle flash particles. Oh, I saved that as a wrong thing, didn't I? PNG. Okay, so now... Yeah, okay, before I get too deep in this, I don't want to edit the cow muzzle flash. That would be bad. So let's duplicate this. Axe muzzle flash. Manage animations. Just got to go through all these steps, make sure I'm not accidentally using references from anything that I shouldn't be. This needs to be made unique, recursive. And then this material down here, we're going to need a new canvas item material. Blend mode, normal, particles animation on, 4 H frames. And then muzzle flash particles here. And let's see. Okay. So something's wrong here. Display, scale. Maybe I need the spread to be bigger. Okay. Where is the spread? Spread. And then this, I could probably make the particles a little bit more long-lived as well. I think I can probably do that. Oh, but this has to be return to pool. Well, we can see how it looks in game before I tweak it too much. It didn't work. What did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? Cow muzzle flash. Did I accidentally turn... Oh, I accidentally turned off autoplay somehow. Okay. That makes sense. That would make sense. Okay, yeah, that's way too small. Why is that so small? I guess I underestimated or overestimated the size of these things. That's fine though. I can just turn the scale up. That should do it. Might have to draw new feathers, maybe. We'll see. Doesn't need to be perfect, it's just a muzzle flash effect. Can't even really tell those are feathers. I wonder if I make this... This is not going well. Make the spread larger between these things. Might also... Maybe I should outline them as well. That looks kind of good, actually. Doesn't look terrible. Yeah, I'm curious to see what happens if I outline these. That's going to definitely give it a chunkier kind of feel. No, I can't say that I like that. Hello? Things are ripping my attention away from me. Ripping my focus. Nice. Okay. I'm okay with that. I mean, they don't really read like feathers like I was hoping, but the effect is still nice, so I don't think that it's necessarily a problem. I'm not super concerned with making him look like feathers. I just wanted to create a differentiated muzzle flash. This is going to need a sound effect as well. That's done. This... Just got to write down that I'm going to handle the sound effects here. Cool. Do I want to add any unlock conditions to this? What is the, is there a totem unlock? I think there is. I'll just tie it to the totem. Same totem unlock. Unlocked by killing 5,000 total enemies, yeah. So I'm just going to do that. Axe. And then in my unlock condition manager, wherever totem is used, I can do this. Try unlock gun parts. Yeah. Or try unlock gun. What is it called? Try unlock. Huh? Gun type. Oh, it's... Why is this not static? That's weird. Okay, so I wasn't able to use it because it's not static. Try unlock gun type. Axe. So I'm just tying those, that totem. Since the totem is the innate affix of the axe type, I'll just tie it there. I think I'm doing that in one other case too. Maybe it's haunt. Oh no, the chicken. Yeah, I'm unlocking the chicken and the chicken innate rune at the same time. So I think that's fine. So that'll be good. And I should be able to actually just delete my... Well, let's commit this first. Axe effects implementation. If I go to my save data here, I should be able to look at where I've unlocked the axe and delete this, and it should re-unlock it for me because I think I've killed... Yeah, oh, I haven't killed enough enemies. Okay, so it should stay locked in that case. Unlocked by killing 5,000 total enemies. Unlocked by killing 5,000 total enemies. So let me just, again, I just like to test this. Let's just do 5,000 and make sure those get unlocked. GDScript with static types isn't so bad. I wish there was a few more things though. Interfaces, shorter syntax for accessor methods. On properties, nested and generic types for arrays. Yeah, I think there's definitely a lot of like sugar stuff that can be added to GDScript, but it seems like they're moving in that direction. I mean, the last time I used GDScript for globins, I really enjoyed it. Yeah, like you said, it's missing a lot of things that would be nice to have, but for the most part, it's not. It's actually quite fun to use, in my opinion. Just because it's so easy to write. But yeah, I agree with those points that you made. Could definitely be made even better. Cool, all right, I gotta add a sound effect for that, but I'm gonna do that off stream before I call this done. So yeah, that'll be it for the stream today. We're coming up on that 2-hour mark here. It's faster to get the editor reload, but I hate the editor hotkeys, yeah. Yep, I feel you. So yeah, that's it. That's it for the stream today. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for watching. I very much appreciate that. Again, Gunforge comes out on Monday, so it's fast approaching. So definitely wishlist, purchase on Steam if you are so inclined. And also you can check out the links in the description below for my Udemy courses as well. Those will teach you how to build a complete game in the Godot engine from yours truly. So it's also a great way of supporting me, but I think the main thing is that, yeah, that should support you too if you're going to get into game development and Godot specifically. And also, you know, if Gunforge is your kind of game, it's a win-win. You get a fun game, I get money. It all works, right? But regardless, thank you all for your support. Every little bit of support is greatly appreciated, including watching the videos, liking, subscribing, all that good stuff. So thank you again, everyone. Thank you to everyone in the stream who is chatting. Thank you to the lurkers and the VOD watchers out there. Appreciate you as well. And I will see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern. We'll be continuing just doing some Gunforged tidying and bug fixing and all that good stuff. All right, I will see you tomorrow.